stretch where you stand up and do it. I started laying down and doing it with like a stretch band I've got. So you get your quad, but you get your hip flexors too.
One of the first times I ever went over to his house, he goes, "You ever seen one of these?"
I
was like, a dog leash? I said, "Is that a dog leash?" And he goes, "No, it's a stretch band." I saw your apparatus for your dog. You could fly him underneath the helicopter with that thing.
Yeah, it's you pick him up and you go hiking with your dog. I'm getting some now. Come out to play with them.
Give him touch. Dang.
I made up one of those two things.
Oh, what a yarn you spin. Cheers, queers. It's From Behind the BarCast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, and drinking in general. If you haven't gotten onto our Patreon yet, there's some dark and dirty stuff on there.
It gets real dark.
If you want to hear the real tea about a lot of stuff, with doxing and names and all that stuff, check us out on Patreon. It's patreon.com/From Behind the BarCast. We're also on all of our social medias at the same name, From Behind the BarCast. But just like last week,
we're on YouTube.
Oh, we're back on YouTube
live,
again. But if you're watching this,
please
I guess you know that.
Watch on YouTube.
So we're going to do kind of a repeat of last week because we had so much fun with Miss Jennifer Smoot. She's going to be on for the second segment this week again. But we also started with a little bit of role play last week.
Ooh, I like role playing.
So
got my nipple clamps on tonight.
So I'm going to be a customer and you're going to be me. Hey, buddy, what's your name?
Paxton.
Hey, Paxton. I'm Irving. Could I have a Budweiser bottle?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, thanks, man. Hey, Paxton.
Hey, Irving.
Why is Santa Claus so jolly?
I don't know.
He knows where all the naughty girls live.
Ooh. Have you met Al, Irving? All right.
Hey, Paxton.
Yeah, you know another beer?
Oh, no, I'm good. Do you know why the blonde had so much lipstick on her steering wheel?
I don't.
She tried to blow the horn.
Ooh. Okay, I need a beer now.
Hey, Paxton.
Yes, Irving. Beer, please?
No.
Food?
Do you know why Jews have such big hands?
Oh, whoa. Okay, Irving.
So this literally happens all the time. So person A, Irving, will sit at the fruit, or the fruit is our fruit tray, which the ice well is right in front of, which you have to visit.
Where all the liquors, the house liquors
you have to visit it every 10 seconds. So he sits there waiting patiently, and every time you walk over, he goes, "Hey, Paxton."
I like your Irving voice. Hey, Paxton.
And it's not. I'm like, "Hey, Irving, would you like another?
Have sex with you.
Would you like another beer?" Nah, listen to this dad joke. But so I went a little far. He never got racist with it. But you can tell when people are buttering you up to try and start being either racist or sexist or
go for politics.
Something. Yeah, they're like, so the Jews. Am I right?
I used to go to. I used to go to Sybil's on Wilmington Island. You remember Sybil's? It used to be next to Kroger when we were kids. And they had posters in there, and there was a poster of blonde jokes. And I would go in there and, memorize blonde jokes. And then, take them home and tell my dad. I know 20 blonde jokes off the rip right now.
And I bet your dad loved them.
Oh, my God. And then I got older, I learned better ones. Why do blonde shoes say TGIF? Toes go in first. That's a good joke. That's a good, clean joke.
Oh, you know what? Here's another, sort of clean. You know how they have, acronyms for cars? You know, Ford, found on road dead? I heard this most simplest, best one ever. GMC.
Go ahead.
Gay man's car.
Yeah.
I was like, that's clean. You know what I mean? Brevity.
That's called a Subaru.
Brevity is the soul of wit. Shakespeare.
What's the difference between a blonde and a trampoline?
What?
You take off your shoes before you jump on a trampoline.
Ooh, Irving likes that joke. Grab
okay,
Irving
I'll stop.
Beer.
Sorry, my blonde friends.
What do a blonde and a swimming pool have in common?
I don't know.
They take a lot to maintain for the small amount of time you spend inside of them.
That's right.
That was okay. Why is there a mirror on the bottom of the swimming pool?
All right, we're done here.
Right,
Even
Irving
how'd
the blonde drown? Mirror on the bottom of the swimming pool.
Even Irving is tired of these jokes. So what are we drinking right now?
Does Irving know Al, though? It sounds like Al's name. Al's ring.
No, this is Al. Al's like, tell him my name, you get a good seat. Yeah, he's not he don't creep joke. You know what I mean? He's just like dad jokes.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Air cheers. We'll cheers you later.
What we be drinking?
We are drinking Nebiolo De Alba, which is from the Piedmont region of Nebiolo De Alba. It's from the Piedmont region of Italy. So if you're looking at the boot, it's like where your knee would be on the boot, kind of.
Right.
It's North Italy, right by Switzerland, and it is the main grape used in Barolo.
Bruno Gilcosca.
So most people have heard of Barolo. Barolo is a pretty popular Italian wine.
I have no idea.
And Nebiolo is the main grape in that. It's a little lighter, you know.
It's kind of dry. I like the dryness of it.
All Italian wines are dry. All red wine is dry, pretty much.
Oh, well, that's why we learned.
But Italian wines tend to be drier.
Well, do you know what's in a Jack and Coke?
Yeah, I don't know. So you ever see this little label on your wine? This is if you're watching, this is the Italian export band. So any of the time you see this band, that's an Italian wine.
Oh, so it's banned like Eric is from our podcast.
Yes, yes.
No,
yes.
I want it to happen.
Band, like his band.
No, well, so
I'm on your team.
So no, I talked to him the other night, and he was like, "When are you gonna get me back on, man?" I was like, "I'm gonna get you back on. We're just gonna make you stew for a month." He was like, "All right, that's probably a good idea."
Well, around St. Patrick's Day is probably a good time to get him on.
Yeah. But
we can do our best St. Patrick's Day stories. I'm sure he's got some good ones.
Well, he's got a Darren of the year.
He's been to 140 St. Patrick's Days because he's 140 years old.
But he lived in the time of St. Patrick. So
he actually was the first person to meet a guy named Darren.
Was this wine suggested to you by any like top chef or sommelier
speaking
or
of
anything
great
like
chefs,
that?
So Circa, place I work, had a fantastic new chef, 11-time Emmy award-winning chef, for 3 days. This man is getting the full docs because he fucking sucks. You know what? Fuck this guy. Okay. So motherfucking Scott Jacobs. Don't ever call me Steve Spurrier again, or I'll leave. So Vinny and I encountered this man years ago at Lily's. He would come into the bar. He was always alone. I never saw him with another human being. Once you get to know him, you realize it's because he fucking sucks. I'm going to do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
So he'd come in Lily's. It'd be like 2:30. We'd close at lunch at 3. He'd sit at the bar, and he'd come up with these stupid-ass wine pairings. He'd be like, "Ooh, I'm going to have the tuna tartare. You know what goes good with tuna tartare? Red Zin. Let me get a Red Zin." I'm like, that's like, if you were to say, what do I not drink with that? That's what I would say.
The exact opposite thing of what.
And like, he wasn't being like cute or whatever. He would just do that. And he's known to go into other establishments and request wine flights when they're slammed at 7:30 at a place on Tybee that serves wine. They would be able to do a wine flight. Won't say what place it is, but you can probably figure it out.
Yeah.
It's the Sandbar. So he would camp out well past when we're closed. We close at 3 o'clock for lunch. It's like 3:45, and I'm like, "Hey man, you have to leave." And then he would give you a 12 to 14% tip because he was a douchebag, still is. And he always had to write because he is a 11-time Emmy award-winning producer, writer, director.
Forgot about that.
So he always had to write. But when I eat and drink, I have to write. I'm inspired. But he never brought paper or pen. He would just need to borrow one from you. And I'm like, if you know you're going to do this.
If you know that when you get the Vino and Veritas, and you don't have anything to write on.
I'm feeling quite inspired. Oh, what did I write on?
Nothing inspires more than a guest check.
I wanted to open up some blood for him to write with.
I bet I've got a note on a guest check about the podcast in my pocket right now because that's when I'm at work and Irving comes in. I'm like, ooh, Irving,
yeah.
Going in the wallet.
I just put him on the phone real quick.
I
So,
myself.
you know, he bragged about winning these Emmys and stuff, and we were like, whatever. You found out he's full of shit. He just sounds like he's full of shit once you get to know him a couple times.
Did he come into the circuit before you guys hired him?
This is Lily's. This is like 2016. Okay. I don't see this guy.
Okay.
When I think of him one time, I'm like, I hope this guy's dead and gone. So I go into Circa a few weeks ago, and they're like, oh, we got a new chef. I'm like, finally, we've been looking for a new chef. And they're like, oh, he's great. He's showing the guys how to do the steak tartare real good. I'm like, cool.
Pairing it with a red.
Pairing it with Red Zin and Budweiser lager or something weird. And so I don't pay attention to him for a while because I'm doing other stuff. I'm getting set up.
Yeah.
Well, I finally come across him to meet him as I'm about to leave, and I'm like, hey, I'm Clint. He goes, oh, I'm Scott Jacobs, Chef Scott Jacobs. And I'm like, no, he says, Chef de Cuisine Scott Jacobs. He makes himself all fancy. And I'm like, I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? He's like, oh, maybe Tybee. He kind of starts to scurry away from me. And I'm like, he gets up the stairs. I go, he's trying to avoid me because I know him from Lily's, and he knows that I know him.
Had but at that moment, it was only a twinkle in your eye.
So he texted me immediately.
No, so I walk outside. I bring the assistant manager outside. I'm like, we need to talk for a second. I think this guy is a con man, and he's lying. So let me do my own research.
Hey, you got to do your own research, man.
I immediately go to him where he's working to go find him. I'm like, you're talking about this right now.
Wow.
Within an hour, I've talked to 2 other people that have waited on him at Lily's. The owner of a place on Wilmington Island that has the name of a flower, and a couple people on Tybee that have encountered this man. And everyone, same story. Piece of shit. Douchebag. One guy says, if you hire him, they will rape your kitchen. I don't even know what that means.
Oh,
rape is such a strong word.
I know. And the guy
is he
that said
stealing food, or is he penetrating the romaine?
I've seen a guy stick his dick in macaroni salad. That's another story for another time.
We will tell that story one day.
We'll tell that story one day.
I was there.
That would be a Patreon story.
They could at least put their dick in the mashed potatoes, not the
well,
macaroni
salad's
salad.
better. It's got more mayonnaise in it.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Just don't go vinegar based.
How do you know so much about fucking food?
Fucking food.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is what this podcast is about food fucking bad chefs and shit. So I do all my own research there. I figure out this guy sucks. So I call the owners of the restaurant and go, look, put me on speakerphone, guys.
The owners of your restaurant that you currently
work at. I've known
work
them for
at.
15 years. I'm like, guys, this guy's a con man. They're like, oh, no, he came well recommended. I'm like, from who? Like, oh, the chef over at our other restaurant. I'm like, that guy's lived here for a year. How does he know him? Oh, he comes in all the time and hangs out with him. He'll go cook with him in the kitchen. I'm like, going in the kitchen, I can cook in the kitchen. Smoot can cook in the kitchen. I'll go cook in the kitchen a meal or two, but we...
Good?
Got you back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we could all cook in the kitchen, but we can't put out 70 plates that look the same all night long.
In a professional kitchen during service.
And so they're like, no, he's great. Oh, he showed us a menu from this restaurant he was going to open, but the pandemic shut it down as investors, and he couldn't make it. Now, the guy does do advertising stuff, so he's good at making things look pretty. But you know what I can do? Go online, copy and paste ingredients and stuff from different menus all over the country.
I can watch a YouTube video.
And then just line it all up, make it look pretty. Hey, I was going to open a restaurant. Look at my menu. So they hire him.
Yeah.
Food unseen. They don't make. Usually, you make the chef cook for you, or you know him enough to hire him. So he comes in Friday night. It's the beginning of the night.
First night. Like
it's his first full night. He was there Thursday, kind of learn the ropes. It's 7:30. We're slammed. There's tickets lined up. The GM is on the line expoing. Where is Chef Scott Jacobs?
Chef de cuisine.
He's talking to tables about how the dish was inspired to create this dish that he's made.
Shut up.
He is telling people
that he created these things.
People that have already been there 100 times, that are regulars, and are like looking at him like he's an idiot. So one of these people contacts the owners and goes, something's weird going on in here. So they head to the restaurant. In the meantime, the GM has wrangled him back into the kitchen. It's like, look, you got to help. Do something. He's behind the line trying to make salads. He's making them wrong. And a line cook guy, a prep guy, there's like, hey, you do it this way. He's like, don't talk to me like that. I'm the chef. He's like, but you're doing it wrong. He's like, I don't care. We're going to do it this way now. And the GM has to go, hey, we're in the middle of the rush. We're not going to change the menu now.
Yeah.
I know you're inspired.
Yeah, Frank Abagnale.
Yeah, so we'll... Exactly. So we'll mess with it tomorrow. So he, again, escapes the kitchen. The owners come in. He is sitting at a table. He has walked up at a customer's table. He has sat down, and he has gone and just poured himself some of their wine. Didn't ask him.
Shut up.
Came with the glass, poured their own wine. This is. I wish I was being hyperbolic. This is the real shit. This motherfucker. So he poured his customer's wine, not a full glass, but enough.
Was there an extra glass on the table for him?
He brought a glass. He was pouring himself wine. You know, if you're a chef, you can drink a little bit of wine here and there.
Oh, I got to know what I'm recommending.
So the owners come in. He
tartare.
immediately gets up and kind of gets back to the kitchen. Oh, I'm going to make something special for you guys. He sends out a steak tartare. A steak tartare is raw, well-chopped filet meat mixed in with a raw egg on top. But he wants to kick it up a notch because this is the only freaking thing he can make. He puts the steak tartare on top of a bed of hot, steamy truffle oil French fries.
Steaming?
So what does hot food do to cold food that's raw?
It cooks it.
It cooks it. You don't cook raw food. And brings it to the owners. And the bigger one, Donald, is like, fuck this. Outside now. And takes him outside and tears him 4 new ones. 4 new ones. 11 new ones. One for each Emmy.
He outed himself in front of the owners by giving them this garbage plate.
So so I guess he comes back inside, and one of the servers there, who has known the owners as long as I have, said they've never seen Donald that mad and thought he was going to throttle this little man.
Oh, wow.
And his dad New Balances.
Well, here's the weird thing. Like, if you're a chef de cuisine, the last thing you do is put anything on top of French fries, unless you work at In-N-Out. Then you're like,
truffle oil,
animal fries.
Truffle oil. Maybe you could put some cheese on there. That's cool.
I mean, maybe add some cress underneath it or something. But why are you putting?
You don't put raw meat.
Marinated beef on
hot
fries.
Or while you're there, tuna guy, you don't put raw tuna on French fries either.
Right.
So they get him back. He goes back in the kitchen. He just kind of stands there the rest of the night. Next day.
Was it pretty busy, or?
It was. They said the tickets were on. Usually it was just one line. They were down on the second tier.
Oh, wow.
He can't expo because he doesn't know the food. But he's, so the next day the GM's like, you need to come in early. I want to talk to you about some stuff. Before the GM can get there, the sous chef, who's thank God running our kitchen chains, I love you. Please don't leave us. text the owners and the GM, I'm not working with this man anymore. He just said he can't do the sauté line, the most important line in a French restaurant, because he'll get a heat rash. This motherfucker, you know what?
Give it up.
Mad at him again. You can't work the sauté line? It's the most important part of a French restaurant is sauté. The chef works sauté or expos, but the sous chef's on one, they switch. You can't do the most important thing you were hired to do.
Right.
Be in a hot kitchen because you'll get a heat rash.
Heat rash, like on his crotch area or on his arm?
It actually grows on his Emmys that he didn't win.
Well,
so,
I've won 11 Emmys. I don't have to take this shit. I will not get a heat rash for some French restaurant.
So the GM comes in early. They start talking. He goes, look, tell me why. What's your plan here? Why are we going to keep you in this restaurant? Things aren't going well. What's going to happen here? First off, I want to fire these 4 guys. Lists off 4 guys' kitchen he wants to fire. The guy that was talking to him about how to make the salad right, he's got to go. The guy was laughing about it next to him, he's got to go. Sean in the kitchen downstairs, who does all of our desserts and our charcuteries and stuff, charcuteries. Sean's been there. The only person in the company that's worked longer for them than me is him. He's been there for 7 years. You're not firing a 7-year salaried employee. He comes in, does a good job, doesn't do a great job, does a good enough job, he knows what the hell to goddamn do. It's fine. He's real quiet.
But he knows what to do.
He knows how to do
his job.
More than Chef Scott Jacobs.
He's not putting tartare on top of potatoes.
No, not on top of potatoes.
Fried potatoes.
No, he's putting tartare in boiling water because that's what you do with it.
He goes, I'll take the tartare sauce.
The GM is like, look, you're going to fire these 4 guys? Well, you got 4 other guys coming in, right? He goes, no, we'll deal with that later. We'll just get them out of here now. They're in the way.
On a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Okay, first off, you can't do one of their jobs, let alone all 4, and it's so hard to hire people right now. You can't fire 4 people without having 4 people to replace them.
Was the owner bringing him in to be like, hey, we need to talk about how we do things here before service
the owners
tonight?
wanted to talk to him.
Oh, the GM.
The big owner wanted to talk to him, and the GM was like, no, you'll kill this man. Let me do this. So
but at that point, he was still an employee.
He was about to be fired, though. He just didn't know it. He wanted to give him a chance to explain himself.
Yeah.
And
be like, hey, was last night a complete misunderstanding? Were you drunk?
Explain to me the French fries and tartare thing. Well, I'm just trying to do something different and creative, and it's a thing they do in France. No, it's not. Stop lying.
Wow.
We all know you're lying. You're in deep water. You don't know what you're doing. Just admit you lied to us, and you're a con man. No. I've done this. He's like, you know what? It's over. You need to go. But what? And then he starts crying because he thinks this grown-ass man, 60 years old, thinks crying is going to save his job. And I've worked in restaurants, and you work at a high-paced volume, crying gets you out of the building quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
And then made fun of when you're gone.
And you do that in the cooler, okay?
Yeah, you do it in the cooler like a regular
You don't do it.
But when you get fired, you can't go in the cooler.
Oh, right, yeah, that's
true. You're not a real chef.
What? Wait a minute, so
this all happens between
Thursday
and Saturday at like 1 o'clock. So I don't work Friday to Saturday, so I don't get any of this until I go back to work.
Besides his 11 Emmys, what else were his credentials that he was putting up? Did he say he had been chef?
Well, he was going to open that restaurant. He was going to be the head chef of that restaurant. So in this time, I have been continuing to do my own research because I'm diligent.
As you should. Do your own research.
You should. And this was not just a flu. Okay, this guy was not just a mild flu.
So he's legit Frank Abagnale.
Yeah. This guy is AIDS plus COVID.
Abagnale.
Abagnale. I concur.
It was bothering me.
I concur.
Do you concur?
I concur.
So I do my own research. I go, you know what? I'm going to look up these 11 Emmys, and I go to this man's Facebook page. His name is Scott Jacobs. He's from Savannah. You can go look yourself.
You don't need the Patreon for this, doc.
This is a post he makes of himself. He takes a picture of himself with sunglasses on the beach, and he writes all of this. 11-time Emmy Award-winning national branding strategist, creative director, producer, and executive producer for over 25 years.
Wow.
In 2016, Jacobs finished directing a national documentary called Love, Sweat, and Tears, featuring the late Joan Rivers. He forgot the comma after sweat, which is actually in the title of the movie he didn't direct. He forgot that.
Love, Sweat, Tears?
Featuring the late Joan Rivers. It's about menopause. This guy didn't write about menopause.
He seems menopausal though.
He looks,
or diabetic.
He looks like
he
Menzies,
wears
actually.
full linen suits.
Yes.
That's a menopausal.
It's currently being distributed by whatever the hell, and was just signed
sandals.
onto Netflix. Since 2018, that show never came on Netflix. So, in doing our own research, Scott Jacobs, born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, died, age 71. Director.
Shut up. These
Stolen valor. 100%
Shut
stolen
up.
valor.
He is really stealing a dead man's identity.
You can look up
for
who's
his
won
art.
Emmys. You can look up Scott
You've
Jacobs.
kept this
No Emmy
information
award.
from me until just now for this. This is I can't believe you held it in for so long.
had to.
We've been on this story here at From Behind the BarCast
It's
for at least
delayed.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I've been waiting to get this out.
He has stolen a man's
A
identity.
dead man. A dead man, because they had the same name. He thought, well, people won't figure this out in this modern day and age.
Oh my God.
Not only is he a fake chef, director, and Emmy Award winner, he's one of many Emmys, apparently, as Julia Louis-Dreyfus somehow.
Ooh, Seinfeld, nice.
Yeah.
He's won more Emmys than the Simpsons writing team has.
I mean, this guy. Oh, I'm just going to chug this out the bottle. I did red wine tonight because I knew liquor would have gotten me too heated. Too hot, too on
I've never
fire.
been this happy about
Stolen Valor?
Yeah.
So in my research time, I talked to a friend named Jeffro. Listen to the podcast. Shout out Jeffro Moya. Jeffro met him at Lily's also. Fro's got a nice, deep, resounding voice. Fro wanted to get into voice work for a while. Well, 11-time Emmy Award winner says, I can get you into voice work. So he talks him up. Fro's like, I'm in. Goes to meet the guy. And it's like, hey, what are we going to do? We're going to record. The guy said he had a recording studio. He did not have a recording studio. It was a tissue box with a lapel microphone.
Little lapel microphone.
He didn't even have that. You know what he wanted from him? Some weed. But he wouldn't ask him for the weed in a restaurant. He got him to come to his house to get a weed hookup.
So for a fake voice acting gig.
Fro, who, if you know Fro, doesn't smoke weed and has never sold weed. He's not even remotely like you would think a weed dealer. Like, you look like more of a pothead than he does.
Yeah. I mean, and people seem to think that as well.
Yeah. Well, it's because of the company you keep.
Hey, man, got any weed? That's what Irving
You're the only
asked me.
non-weed smoking Humphreys McGee fan, probably.
And employee Alcapoos, I believe.
Yeah. You and Eric.
Me and Eric, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got actually the other day.
Smoot only smoke. There's a couple people in there, right?
The other day, Danny asked me. He was like, "Hey, you still got that nerd rope you were talking about?" Because somehow a 500 milligram nerd rope showed up at my house.
What the fuck?
Sorry. It's
500 milligram edible. Like this long?
It's an edible. It's just like
it's what you don't eat at Christmas.
Man, this
Not
thing.
that I did it.
It could fool anyone. It looks. Unless you really look and see 500 milligrams, not for children. I'll show it to you when we get downstairs.
Look, you got to eat a small piece. Don't let someone else hand you a piece at Christmas dinner with your family and end up really, really high, like Vinny did. It's a different king. So 11-time Emmy award-winning
Scott Jacobs, ladies and gentlemen.
Scott Jacobs, chef de cuisine at his own house now because he doesn't have a job.
If he has a house. All right, we'll see y'all after the break.
You can see what this is.
Oh, shit. It's the Karen of the week. It's the Karen of the week.
Song gets stuck in my head.
That's right. We are back with Miss Jennifer Smoot.
Yeah,
she is not the Karen though. Cheers.
God damn.
But she did bring this wine. What is this that we're?
Let's Karen then we'll wine.
We'll Karen first. All right. So this
you know
is
what Karens do? They fucking wine.
They be whining.
Yeah. Look, I'm in it to win it this week.
This week's Karen is from a listener and friend of the show. We're going to leave this person unnamed, though. But this person works at a chain of, let's say, national retailers that are known for their high level of customer service. Imagine Chick-fil-A, but not a fast food restaurant.
Okay. So not Comcast. Definitely.
So Mrs. Karen F. Karen comes in, and she walks up to the customer service part of this establishment, and there are two young ladies there. One of the young ladies is just clocking in for work, and the other young lady is off work, and it's her second day. She approaches the two young ladies and says, "Hey, do you have this?" The young lady who's just about to clock in, instead of clocking in, picks up her phone and starts looking for the item. Karen takes this as a slight, thinking,
she's looking up,
like that she's going on like social media or something like that.
She's like, I see this Karen.
So instead of her being like, "Excuse me," or if she had just waited 10 seconds, she was going to tell her which aisle this stuff was on. Instead, she starts rummaging around the rest of the place looking for some.
I'm trying to figure out what place this is.
Manager.
I've got a few targets in my mind.
Yeah, a manager to talk to. So she finds our listener, and he goes, "Yes, ma'am. What's going on?" She's like, "Well, I was up at the front, and I was asking these young ladies if you had blah da 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 da, and they got on their phone." And he's like, "Okay, I got you. Like, tell me what you want." They ended up not having it.
Okay.
Right? He's like, "I'm even going to check on the truck for you to see if we have it." They don't have it. Right?
Going all above.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's and.
So it's not Walmart. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So she leaves. The guy comes up to the two young ladies. He's like, "Hey, what's up? What was up with that lady?" They're like, "Oh, well, she asked us where this was," and I started to look it up, and by the time I got the aisle number, she was gone. So then they don't think about it. 13 minutes later, GM comes down and goes, "Hey, we just got a call from corporate."
Damn, Karen, corporate.
30 minutes. 30 minutes after the incident happened. This
Karen.
lady has already contacted corporate.
She is in the parking lot.
Karen 2.0.
Yeah, and I was like, was it like a Yelp review? No, she contacted corporate. So then corporate, so then the GM's like, hey, what happened? And the guy's like, he's like, hey, look, man, they were trying to look this stuff up for this lady.
Do you get an age on this, Karen? She sounds like she's older, so she wouldn't understand the phone part.
Person said that she may have been in her 50s.
I like how well you're not doxing this person at all.
Yeah, because
you're
like, you don't.
If you're in a car washing whippets, you're going to say your full name, address, everything.
Well, the thing is, I want to keep the well of Karens going because this is a deep well of Karens, and I don't want to get this thing doxed. You know what I mean? So that gave me the idea. I was like, hey, we'll do an all Karen episode at one point of all listener
Karens,
listener Karens, whatever. But that brings up the point, the interesting part of like the Karenisms is some people are walking in expecting to Karen.
Oh yeah.
Now here's the one thing: you're never going to walk into this place and ever have a bad customer service issue. It's that type of place. It's like.
He's messing up my mind.
I'll tell you after the podcast. But you'll never walk into this place expecting a bad service.
It's like going to Chick-fil-A.
Exactly. They're always going to say, my pleasure.
And it's always actually their pleasure.
So if you're going in there with the idea at all that that's the type of experience you're going to have, that's the type of experience that you're looking for.
Yeah, you're
and that is the truest, deepest sense of a Karen.
That is the Karen of death.
Now you walk into Hugapoos and you expect bad service. You're probably right.
I mean, if Mike's your server, yeah.
We had another group walk out on him.
Another one? Damn.
Yeah.
So speaking of Karen, Vinny, you got a Karen this week?
I could do a Darren.
What about? Do you have a Darren, Clint?
Did you not hear the last segment? Motherfucker! Come on.
Clock it.
I had just gotten Pat. I'm sweating again now. feel like a great weight to be lifted off my shoulders.
Can we please make a wager or something?
Yeah.
I need to put a guess in on what this restaurant is.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, this place.
It's not a restaurant.
It's not a
It's not a
restaurant.
restaurant.
It's an aisle.
It's a place of retail.
For me, it's Home Depot. I feel it in my guts, in
See,
my boobs,
I'm
in my nipples.
I'm somewhere between Home Depot seems like Target's a pretty good one.
Okay.
But I'm knocking off places that it's not. It's not Walmart. It's
not Walmart.
We've gone through a few places that's not.
Well, we're not
They've
here
got
to.
aisles.
I mean, we don't know anyone that works at Walmart, do we?
No, it's
we
not.
do.
Oh, it's not Walmart, of course.
No
I know
one
like
at
5
Walmart
greeters.
is saying my pleasure at the end of shit.
Or I can barely they quit wearing uniforms.
Yeah, they're
so
hiding.
you can walk around that thing all day and not know who works there or not, except for the one old white dude with the worst comb over.
The person at the front door.
You talking about the Wilmington Island Walmart?
Yes.
Yeah. He's always there as a greeter.
This dude's
sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't.
3 strands of hair.
3,
and they're all
Is that
going
Homer
over.
Simpson?
They are all
Is it Homer
going
Simpson?
over, like the back flap jelly flop, and they're always greased up.
He's got 11 hair Emmys.
He'll have his back turned to you, but still greet you somehow too. Hey man,
he's got that weird Walmart old man sense.
He can sense you, like he's got the force. So usually I get 5 minutes of most weeks of sports or comics or whatever. Look, got my.
Directly in my dome.
Disrespect.
Put him up again for the camera. Put him up again for the camera. There we go.
We have a guest here, Clint.
Dude.
Jesus.
Next week's the finale of Boba Fett will happen this week, so we will be going deep into that next week. And our guest, Shay Knight, coming in next week.
Nice.
Huge, deep Star Wars fan.
I'm gonna.
I
have the best
over-nerded
time
him
in
on
the
Boba
world.
Fett, so
this is going to be my favorite.
You better
podcast.
catch up on your Star Trek.
Is there
before
any Star Wars fan that's not a huge, deep Star Wars fan?
I was going to say, yeah. There's no mild Star Wars.
Oh, I know.
fan.
I'm a mild Star Wars.
Oh, shucks.
I'm mild.
Because he'll call me.
I'll still get mad if you
I'll start laying stuff.
Clock it.
I'll start laying information down for him, and he's like, "Why do you know all this already?" I'm like, "I did my own research."
Yeah, like if you know Clone
I'm watching
Wars,
like breakdowns.
it's deep.
I don't do Clone Wars.
I don't know it.
He
I don't know
knows
either.
Clone Wars animation. He knows all.
Oh
that.
no, I've watched everything, all the Star Wars stuff.
There is no
Even the Christmas
mild
special.
Star Wars fan. It's
No.
only fire, fuego, or whatever all the Taco Bell sauces are.
Diablo.
There might be verde.
That would be really good on a steak tartare, huh?
Diablo, Mexican pizza, come back to me, baby.
I
So
heard
it comes
Scott
back to you and it
Jacobs
comes right out
was
of you.
chef at Taco Bell at one
That's
day.
probably what he
too.
was the actual chef at. He was like, "Look, I worked at Taco Bell for 9 years. Chef de Taco."
Chef de Taco. I made a
de
French at Taco.
I think it's
Chef
Chef
Burrito.
El Taco.
Chef
It
Choco
was definitely Hell
Taco.
Taco.
I've been to the El
Choco
Taco Lounge
Taco, and there's a
downtown.
real
I played a
thing
gig there.
He was like, "This French restaurant needs tacos. Great French cuisine. It's called a crepe, you douchebag."
Sucks.
So I have a history of having brown roommates. Currently live with one, but 3 of my roommates ago, he died in a scuba diving accident, and I thought it was super suspect.
Yeah, because you don't see a lot of black scuba divers, do you?
I don't believe that shit. This is like fucking Scooby-Doo when he just pulls the shit out.
It was Michael Jackson the whole time.
Eric Thomas asked me to ask you, like, how
Suspicious black death.
No.
suspicious.
Like skydiving.
Skydiving,
rock climbing.
negative. Fucking rock climbing, negative. Avalanche, no. Black if we died in an avalanche, there will be a bottle of lotion present because it's ashy as hell up out there. Shark attacks, fuck you, Australia. We're not going in. There's so many things that you will never. Oh, I took a selfie in Yellowstone. Fuck off. I'm not doing it.
Fell in the Grand Canyon. Murder.
So there would be no black Gabby Petito, is what you're saying.
Murdered in the Gap. Nope.
For never, dude. There was, and actually, that is. I'm not gonna spoil everything, but Archive 81. Okay.
Oh.
One big plot fail of that is they got a black man doing dumb shit that we would never ever volunteer to do.
Out in the
not
woods.
even for money. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
But I feel like they addressed that. Like, like his best friend was white, and he was like, "You're going to be a black man and go to a remote house in the middle of nowhere? Are you crazy?" And he was like, "I have to do this." And he was like, "This is stupid." Like, that's why I love that show.
He runs towards the noise. That's not a black man.
That's some Kevin Smith shit. He goes, "We can address it in one line of dialogue." Why are you going out there as a black man? Whole plot hole addressed.
Hey, but shout out to LL Cool J, the only black man to survive
A shark movie?
Shark movie, yeah.
Busta Rhymes survived Halloween, sorry.
You got real excited. I ain't seen Halloween,
Everything
bro.
is woke as
I'll
shit
watch the
now,
Star
so
Wars.
I have a chance. Right now in woke culture, I can make it all the way to the end
Oh, right,
credits.
yeah. They're like, we got to, she's got to make it
Wait,
now.
so-
And I will have also an Asian girlfriend. We'll be together. Like, we've got to go hand in hand making it.
They
And
might
I will
make
be
it.
running right
Coming out.
behind y'all's ass.
Yeah, she sent us a video last night. It's like, if you see a bunch of black folks running, follow them. And I'm like, I know the rules. If you see a group of black people running, wherever they're going, I'm going too.
Here's
I'm on the way.
Here's what was awesome about that video, though. The black man was running. They were not following him. As soon as they saw him
running?
behind them running, they
Dude,
ran
yeah,
in front
you
of him.
Fuck this.
Before he even had a chance.
I'm with them. Go. And I was like, some of our white ass friends, you'd be like, well, what were they running from? Let's go check it out.
What, they're going in that
they
direction?
Were
Let's
running
go see
to
what
a
they were
puppy,
running from.
Clint. They were running to a puppy.
My boy Billy was like, I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to go look into that.
Almost did a whole fake Rogan, like 10 minutes, Hello Friends podcast, like just on video, just about Archive 81 and how diluted that plot line is completely. And how once it got to the end and he had switched spoilers, I don't care.
Oh.
And he had switched time frames, I'm like, oh, y'all just waiting to get picked up for a season 2. No one tells a story in one fucking season anymore. They're always waiting on that contingency plan for the second season. No one tells a goddamn story anymore. They're like, all right, let's start a story and then see if we get picked up for the second season. If so, we're going to flip him and the white girl in time.
Sir,
and
that's
then
called
Kurt
a
Cobain-
limited series.
Yeah. Limited series.
Tell me a story in 8 episodes. I don't care how big your story. Lord of the Rings got done in 8 episodes. You know what I mean?
Easttown.
8 hours.
Hey, trailer coming on Sunday. Sorry.
I mean,
So, speaking of stories as old as time,
yes.
birthday Venmos.
Oh yeah.
You think you hit the bottom of the well.
I thought we were done with this.
And I would think after hearing us talk about it, somebody that listens to this show and is very, very close to one of our prime listeners, we'll just call her Cindy Krasutzkowicki.
Cindy Krzyzewski.
Yes. Some Polish name, not Japanese at all. Posted her birthday Venmo up there.
But that was on Facebook. That wasn't on the back of her car, though.
But I want to shout her out as our unlikely Patreon subscriber this week. I sent her a $5 request, and she fulfilled it.
Oh,
So she's the
Of course she did.
She's the unwitting
Of course.
patron of the week. Thank you so
she,
much.
Karen and knew herself all real quick.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you.
Well
I'm actually going to use that
played.
$5 to boost a post on Facebook.
She's
So
still
people
never
know.
going to the World Series, though, damn it.
No.
So
Yeah,
we got speaking of World Series, we
you're
have
worse
big
than
games
Paxton.
coming up. We have the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday. And have you, Smoot, ever worked a busy game type shift?
yes. So you probably didn't know this, but before working at Huckapoo's, I literally worked every year of my 20s in the service industry, bartending and waiting tables. So in the great state of Texas in Houston, I worked during an
about them
NBA
Cowboys?
final.
Okay.
I mean, I've worked during everything.
So it's weird because the people not in the service industry think like, oh, you're gonna make so much money or this and that. It's like, no, everyone sits and squats.
No money.
Yeah.
You don't make any money because no one comes in and leaves.
And God forbid their team loses, you're not getting shit.
Now,
And Huckapoo's offers free food, which makes it worse.
But see, the thing is,
a 30-topping hot dog bar,
man.
including
It is
Jeff
awesome.
Rose
If
mad
y'all
we're
wanna
not
check it
going.
out.
He's like, I want to put SpaghettiOs on my hot dog. I'm like, great news, you can do it on your own. It's called pocket SpaghettiOs, okay? Just Huckapoo's, pull them out your pocket, put them on your hot dog.
You know, you can buy SpaghettiOs almost anywhere.
You can buy them at Choose.
Here's a hint for the Karen. You can buy SpaghettiOs at the place that I'm talking about.
Oh,
that won't help you at all.
Oh,
But.
you messed my whole life up.
So it's not the Gap. Okay.
I'm going Kroger.
Damn.
You can buy SpaghettiOs there.
Oh, I know where it is.
Do you?
I know where it is.
All right, no doxing
Well, we
until
gotta
after.
say it, and what
I
is
know
the
where it
wager?
is.
We need to figure that out as
We'll
well.
figure. Hey,
Camera him real quick. Let me get this picture right here.
Okay. Oh, no, that was you.
Leave,
actually. Oh, we got
leave a comment if you think you know where we're.
If you figured out what it was, because I did. And
Damn
they
it!
do have good customer
You
service.
were so right. How could I not have guessed that?
But
just
I mean,
made
you
me
go into a
work.
place like that, you expect. I mean, everyone is overly. It's like
The best service ever.
exactly.
Oh, now I know what we're talking about.
You know it.
Yeah, I live
All you
by
got to
it.
do
It's
is
saved
check
a lot.
all you got to do is check the camera on the YouTube video. Now we just
Where?
got.
So hey, if you want to,
I was switching up a lot, so they might not be able to see it.
Spoiler alert! It was on the YouTube. So.
Also, where shopping is a pleasure.
Yeah.
Never mind. Don't watch the YouTube. It's called a tea, Smoot, and you just ruined it.
Yeah, so Huckapoo's, we have the hot dog bar, which has literally every topping. I mean,
Things you don't want to be toppings.
yeah,
Like
macaroni,
SpaghettiOs.
and
Macaroni and
Kraft
cheese.
macaroni and cheese. Not even like the good, like greasy shells and cheese, like the paper, paper powder macaroni and cheese.
made by Chef Scott Jacobs.
Made by Chef Scott Jacobs. He's
put this on
got
the
Emmy
menu.
award-winning mac
On
and
top
cheese
of some
over there.
French fries.
Yeah,
just
so some
trying to
French fries
change up the hot
with his
dog
two
game.
tartar on top.
So we have we have events. You know, we kick balls through. You know, we have paper football.
They're called uprights.
Uprights, that's what they're called, yes. So they had, there was a post today, and it was like, what Super Bowl games could we play at my dive bar? And I was going to suggest something, but the very first suggestion that came up was called pass the ball. So you have the
You
people,
mean football?
you have people sitting, no, pass, it's just, you have an effigy of a ball, whatever that may be.
Okay.
And you have a certain group of people sitting. Each down, they pass it to the next person.
Okay.
But you all pay like $10 or whatever.
Down of the actual game.
Actual down of the game.
Okay.
And if someone's holding it when a touchdown is scored, they get $100.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh,
That's a really.
damn.
It's like, I thought it was a really great concept for a game.
Eric, what's up?
Yeah.
get
So
$100.
I'm going to tell Eric about it before the
like it a lot.
before the
Now it's
Super
gonna be
Bowl.
$1, but you know.
Right. Well, the thing is, like, you would have to be like, all right, here's a group of, you know, you could just do it at a like
It can be people that all throw in. If you, if there's 10
No,
of you,
I'm
How
saying that
often
at
do you
$10.
pass the ball?
every down.
Oh,
That's what I'm
wow.
saying. So you could do it at
That's
a dive
so
bar.
awesome.
So if there's a penalty, do you
It's
get
like,
it
say
back?
if you're at the Windrose and it's just one big bar and you had 25 people sitting at it, be like, hey, if you get a wristband and if you're included in the $10 buy-in or whatever, then you're able to have the ball passed to you, so that some guy just doesn't walk over, oh, won, and he didn't put any money in. You know.
That makes sense. Speaking of things they have at the Windrose, we're drinking some nice wine tonight.
Yes. Please tell us about it.
So if you can't see well, the difference between what we had the first time, the Nebiolo in my glass, versus what Jay Smoot's got here, which is from Roussan in France. It is by the way, tasted, didn't know.
You called it. Yeah.
Called it Merlot Syrah blend.
My
And it was
man, I'm
Merlot
waiting.
Oh, wow,
Syrah.
look at this sommelier.
I've got the palate
waiting
of an
for it.
11-time Emmy award-winning sommelier.
I was about to say, did Scott Jacobs teach you those?
Yes, yes, he did. Yes.
You need to do this already.
so-
We have a game called Punt Pass Scott Jacobs. Punt him and you pass him.
Smear the queer is what they used to call it back in my day. Before,
I forgot about that.
Before
Yes.
we got all woke over here.
Hey, cheers, queers.
Cheers, queers. Hey.
Go, Gadget. Cheers.
So,
Got you. Cheers. That one.
hey,
That one.
nice.
All right, Pat.
We have events, you know, for the Super Bowl. Like I said, we have the hot dog bar, but then sometimes we have like charity events where we auction people off.
Ooh. I have been.
And I think Smooters might have spent
Not-
a couple dollars.
We're not auctioning Smoot off. This is not that kind of podcast.
I never get auctioned off. This is bullshit. I have
Well,
shelled
they
out
don't
money
really
buying
auction
people.
off black people anymore, Smoot.
Especially if there's only 2 black people on time being auctioned off. So let's
Vinny,
so
God, I love you so much.
yeah, I guess why you paid more for Vinny, we'll get there in a minute.
Oh, yeah,
man,
we will.
Because
We will.
it's just a point of contention
okay.
with Clint.
So
I'm sorry, Paxton. I will purchase you.
I don't go up for auction. I'm too expensive.
We do the poker run one year, which is a fundraiser for breast cancer. We ride bikes around on Tybee. You draw a card at each
bicycles.
bar.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and you the best poker hand wins. Best hand wins. Worst hand. It's a fun event. It raises great money.
Then there's a giant raffle.
A giant raffle at the end. And so the year I helped do a lot of it, we're all gathered together. Hey, we did such a good job, y'all. And Eric goes, we need to auction somebody off, make some money. And I look at the whole group and go, uh-oh. I am the only single person in this group.
Non-employee that's available to stand up
there.
Yeah.
And Eric goes, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. He goes, you got 5 minutes to find somebody else. And I'm like, fuck.
Yes.
I
got
go straight to Paxton and go, hey, you and that girl still having problems?
No, we're fine. Why?
God damn it. So I try a few things.
Good that year.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, crap. Okay, I'm going to do it. So I look at Paxton.
I thought you were about to say, sorry. I thought you were about to say, you got 5 minutes to change into these clothes. And I thought he had like some hoe clothes for you.
He goes,
Nantucket red shorts.
I go to Paxton and go, hey, look, if I don't go for $100, just pay $100 for me. I'll pay you back.
I'll pay you back.
I was like, I'll pay you back. Because I wanted to have some kind of self-worth, So...
Here's so much.
So we're getting ready to go up, and Eric goes, you're going to have to take your shirt off. You know that, right? I'm like, what? He goes, you got a good body. Take your shirt off. I'm like, oh, I'll take my shirt off.
Eric, it's cold.
Once the betting slows down, take your shirt off. And I'm like, I got to go do another shot or two. So I come up there.
Do you have a Gillette razor? I need to shave my nips.
Shave some stuff. I borrowed Eric's Gillette razor. It had a weird smell to it. So I get up there. And the auction's going okay, and there's local bar owner Trina Brown's like, he'll do anything, right? And Eric's like, yeah, sure. He goes, lay concrete? And he's like, fine. So he's like, $50. And then some creepy lady who I've never seen is like, anything, huh? $75. And she is hammered. And I am looking around like, someone save me.
Yeah.
And then so Smoot this time not entering the contest, and I lock eyes. Thank you, Russ Neely. And Russ, he saw the panic, and Russ was like, $125. And she was like, I'm out. I'm like, oh, thankfully. And
see, Russ is a gambling, betting bitch. He knew how to buy.
But he saw my eyes and was like, I got to save this man from this.
He knew exactly what to bid to get her out. He's like, nah, if I just go 100, she might stick in. 125.
So then the betting goes up. I go for around 225, 250 to the great Jennifer Smoot. I go to Atlanta to watch the national championship game, not the one we won. Fuck that nonsense. Tyler Simmons was on side. We had a lot of fun. We had a great time. We went out to a nice fancy steak dinner. Had some bomb-ass wine.
So good.
We had a great time. Got some weird looks afterwards because we were an interracial couple apparently.
Right. No steak on fucking French fries. I guarantee you that shit.
No goddamn right. Steak and
I'll
frites
take
is
the
a thing.
tartare with the.
Steak and frites is a thing, but not like that. So we have a good time. Next year rolls around. In comes an auction, and they bring up the ringer, Vinny King.
And Eric Thomas asked me, you want to be auctioned off? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to be auctioned off.
I wonder why he didn't ask you. I wonder why he didn't ask you first last time.
He was working. It was Sunday. He was working the first time.
But it is weird when you get auctioned off. You have that thought of like, what if nobody wants to pay for me?
Oh wow, yeah.
Not that I had that thought.
Black people do not have that thought.
I got lucky though because the bidding started off hot.
Yeah.
And like Smoot started it, but
well, Vinny's mom was like, I can finally get him to do some yard work if I bid for him.
I had Jason Kraft though. If y'all don't remember, like Jason Kraft went into a bidding war with Smoot.
Because drunk Jason Kraft is the best.
And
he's aggressive.
So it was like one of my proudest moments. I had a man and woman bidding for a date with me.
Vinny did tell me what his dream three-way was.
Jason Kraft.
Did I?
No, yeah.
What did I tell you?
We were watching the Super Bowl one time. This all comes through.
I don't remember this at all.
So we're watching the Super Bowl.
Excellent. That's right.
And it is Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake, and he rips the thing off the titty. He goes, "This is like my dream three-way right here." Justin Timberlake.
Janet Jackson. I'm pretty sure I was in high school when that happened. So, but by the way, I would totally have a threesome with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. Like, who in this room would not? Like, we would dance afterwards. Like, it would be so much. Like we would like have our own routine. Like, yeah, like it's.
He's like,
so
he's already
great.
planned it out. He's
like,
I've
got it all.
He's like, Justin, you put on the bra now. I'll rip your titty out.
So that's how Vinny won.
So, anyways, Smoot bought me, and our date was I went to Atlanta.
Hold on, you're looking at the important part here.
Oh, what?
She bought him for more than she bought me.
Of course, dude.
God.
Like, is that even?
It was only like $25 more, but the per pound makes me even more embarrassed than anything else.
I am more expensive per pound than you are, sir.
Which is ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
My meat's going to last longer than Vinny's.
Man, we got ground
if we're
round
talking about the
and
meat, I think
ribeye.
we're talking about mine's going to last much longer, player.
But your meat's rotten.
Oh, no. Damn, really?
All them cherries.
You don't even need the Patreon for this heat right here.
Nice.
I don't listen to Patreons. Are y'all, what do y'all say about me on Patreon?
Paxton Eugene is where you find this hot heat with the meat.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're going to pop up all the tags.
Yay, white meat.
So
White meat. The other white meat. The third white meat.
Smoot's like, I had the first white meat, I want the other white meat.
And
You got the white king meat.
If you got the white meat, they might die in an avalanche. And
I'm just saying,
But
she's
hold up.
got a king thing, though, huh?
We're missing a very important aspect of this. So Vinny comes to Atlanta, Georgia. We go to the Braves game. We've got the crazy hookup, all the drinks, all the food for free. And he is like, man, I need to see Chipper. Now, this
Year after
one
Chipper retired.
has 2015 vision. So I'm just sitting there scanning the whole crowd, and I see him. I'm like, there he is. He's down there. He's wearing a black hat. You got to go find him. Vinny goes down.
Oh, wow.
Freaking walks in to the double doors, and as that's happening, the doors open, and it's fucking Chipper Jones.
The light shine through.
Angel song,
Oh.
like the doors open. But it was so cool. Smoot was like, Vinny, Chipper is right there. Chipper Jones is leaving. Go catch him. And I go
wasn't
run down.
playing.
And like,
Dream threesome, Chipper Jones and Smoot.
It was that night, baby.
My nipple is also black. This should be able to work. Sub it
But yeah.
out.
done ripped it
anyways, I met you. But it was more than that. Like, we had the best seats ever. Like, we had a waiter show up at our seats at the Braves game.
Was it that Truist or the old
It was
one?
at Truist. It was
Okay.
the first season at Truist. And like,
Dang.
and we got on TV before it. Remember, we were on the pregame.
were on the pregame.
We were on the
We
Braves
killed it.
pregame show.
They're like,
Like,
interracial couple? Check.
They loved us. We were awesome.
But
Because Vinny, because you called me.
What section do you have waiters in, and how'd you get that hookup?
Yeah,
The
Rob, what the hell?
it wasn't.
Section
It wasn't just
bougie.
waiter section. Like, you go in to a room
God, it was
below
good.
this section, and there's like 7 buffets with
Yes.
all you can eat food, and there's like gold gloves everywhere,
Oh, my God.
Silver Slugger awards
Emmys?
everywhere, and it's like
Any
your
Emmys in there?
own. No Emmys. Scott Jacobs did have a gold glove. As, it's a short
He gonna
stop.
catch a gold glove with his hands. I swear
yeah.
to God, if I see him in
But
public,
all we're
bro,
saying is let Smoot buy you for a date, like, because it's always going to be amazing.
So
Like,
yeah.
fun.
so whose date was better, Clint
Oh,
or I?
man.
Oh, damn.
Like,
man.
what was the better? What was
Oh,
the better
man.
date?
Well,
I mean, it kind of sounds like meeting Chipper Jones and.
Well, that was
I went to a
me.
national
he
championship
met
game.
Chipper Jones. And that was when he was walking back to his seat. If you could have seen the blank, very.
It's like Paxton lit up a cigarette in the studio,
Oh
excited.
my God! And he came up and he was just speechless. He was like, "The greatest thing that ever happened to me just happened." And the rest of these little punk ass kids behind me were so mad because I told them that's Chipper, go down there, but they weren't believing me.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they missed out completely. So it was awesome to see him experience that.
But I heard Chipper was kind of an ass, though.
He was not to me.
He
wasn't?
hugged
He was-
him.
He could probably see the joy on your face,
He was
though.
just as drunk as I was. Because, like, when the doors opened, I saw him, and he just walked out, and he's by himself, and I'm like, oh, my God, like, you're my
This is it.
favorite
This
ball,
is it.
baseball
This is
player.
it.
I've been a
He
Braves
said
fan my whole
this
life.
to him.
Like,
Yeah.
he just won the I was like, congratulations on the Hall of Fame. I was like, he was shaking my hand. I'm like,
You
I
sound
don't
like
know
me.
why I
Calm down.
keep shaking your hand, and I don't know why I'm talking so much, and, like, I'm so sorry. And he just started laughing. He goes, like, that's really nice of you, man. And he brought me in and gave me a hug.
gave him a hug?
And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck just happened? and then he walked off. And then, like, everybody saw him and started taking pictures with him. And I was like, I didn't even get a picture with Chipper
Don't
Jones.
care.
You know what?
God.
Who gives a shit?
gives a
Like,
shit?
yeah,
I smell like him
moment.
now, so.
Yeah. I came back to speak like, can you
I bet
smell
he
Chipper?
smells like some
over
sort
there?
of wood, sort of rich mahogany.
These kids were like,
So I want to say this.
I'm just glad he didn't feel my boner.
So that rotten wood. So after the national championship game, Georgia lost in overtime to Alabama. With some bullshit. Tyler Simmons was on sides. I've said it before, but I tried to leave the game with my buddy Blake Yickel. It's freezing cold, and they shut the MARTA down because it got too slammed. I get into an Uber, and the Uber driver's not listening to me and where to go. I'm like, hey, you need to go here and here. And the guy's like, no, man, F that. I know where I'm going. I'm like, I lived here for a while. Go this way. He's like, you know what? Get out of my damn cab. So he kicks me out, and then he locks me out of Uber. Complains about me. So I can't get another Uber.
I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, so and it's so busy because no one can get in the train. I can't get a lift. I call my homegirl. I'm upset. Multitude of things.
Keep going.
And
You're good.
she comes and gets me. But not only comes and gets me, before she picked me up, she went and got 10 flats, hot, 10 flats.
On
pick
the
me
way?
up all the way.
On
my
the
favorite
way?
wings. Pick me up to quench my sadness with chicken wings.
Mike,
So I'm gonna say, look,
So
that's
good.
worth more than $25.
That's more than so good. That's
That's more than
the best.
$25.
I'm a dope ass friend, man.
Russ Neely wouldn't have done that for me.
Dude.
But yeah, I was sad.
How did you know to
Yeah.
get the flats?
Because that's what I like is all flats. She knows
Okay.
it's my home.
I
we
understood.
travel the world together, or at least the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Now we going to Europe next year, or later this year.
Well, COVID kind of effed up a lot of things.
So sick of it, suck my dick.
And so let's talk about Smooty Brews for a little bit because that got caught up in the whole.
So we're on the Smooty Brews shirt here that Vinny's going to switch me over to here in a minute. Right here, if you can. Let me get that.
Boom.
Yeah, I can get
The
that.
zoom in.
Yeah, you want it?
I mean, you're moving around now. Oh, look at our interactive podcast.
We got
now.
an acapella group here, man.
We really did.
I'm not allowed to sing in the acapella group.
So we had one of your beers at Pooh's, right? There's
Yeah.
like a peach thing.
It was called the Loud Peach,
Okay, there you go.
and it was
Smoot
named
is a
for I have
a quiet bird.
I have
quiet bird.
I have
woodpecker.
a distinct voice, and that's why I named it. I named it off of that, and then being
Georgia.
from Georgia,
Sure.
not from, but living here for so long.
Yeah. Oh, so you're
I'm
not
a-
from Georgia?
No,
Oh, I thought you were-
Memphis, Tennessee,
Oh,
baby.
I thought you were.
Tennessee, yo.
I thought you were from effing Atlanta for some reason.
That's why she's down with the 3 6
That
Mafia.
Memphis, Tennessee,
Triple six. Triple six.
and it's so.
So what do they
gross,
do?
but
Just
I
put
love
like
it.
peach rind in it or something, or is there?
Yeah, we put
I
a
just never
lot-
understood the.
Well, we put a lot of peach in it. Whenever.
Oh, like puree or something, and do that with the. Because I don't understand the whole brewing thing.
Yeah, you put it in during fermentation when the sugar is it's mixing with the yeast, and you put it in there. And however long you leave it in there is how you decide whatever flavor you do, the intensity of that flavor.
Okay, so you're not putting the peaches in there and fermenting that because you'd be making peach brandy or something
Right.
like that.
Exactly.
It's the same thing you do with wine. You leave the grapes and stems and seeds there longer to get a deeper texture. When you do Pinot Noir and Chardonnay are the same grape, but you leave the stems and seeds in there.
Right.
To make
Okay.
it darker in color. And the longer it stays in, it's richer, like she does with flavor.
So how'd
Yeah.
you develop the recipe then with the brewers?
Well, Reformation, shout out to Reformation Brewery in Woodstock and Canton, Georgia. I interned there
Oh, sick.
when after attending Auburn University's Brewing Science and Operations grad program.
Wow.
Dude,
I
you're
mean,
a
come
Tiger
on.
/ War Eagle.
Come on.
That's okay.
Pick a
I still
mascot.
love you.
I don't know why
Yeah.
y'all care. We won the national championship this year. Like, be
a
happy for
mascot.
one. Let a person
And
be
I
from.
I still hate Auburn.
And
Yeah.
you were rooting for us too.
And
Yeah,
I
let
was
a person
so
go to
happy.
Auburn
I
and
had
not
on
feel
all
bad
Georgia
about it.
shit.
Come on.
So I interned at Reformation, and it was such an awesome time. And because of that, they actually asked me to come back and brew for International Women's Day.
Damn.
Which every single year.
And you
every
are a lady.
brewery- I'm a lady.
I'm a lady.
Bang, bang, bang,
Bang,
bang.
bang, bang, bang.
Vinny just moved a little over there. You see Chipper Jones? What was that?
So every March, it is created a recipe of different hops that is sent out to all these breweries, and they say, you create your own recipe that you want to brew. So Reformation said, let's do a collaboration, and we will brew something. And so I knew I just wanted something that I thought that people would love.
And that would associate with you in some sort of way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
When you drink it, you actually talk a little bit louder.
every sip.
I'm not a big beer guy,
Wow.
and I
Every
enjoyed it.
sip, your voice gets a little bit better. You're like,
Yeah.
I'll have a.
So
another one.
So shout out to my sister Charlotte, who's also a quiet human being.
She's
She
a,
loud
she's
as
a
hell.
kindergarten teacher.
She was kindergarten teacher for a long time, but her and Smoot got a great nickname that Paxton and I gave them one night.
Oh no, that was
No, sorry,
me.
Vinny, it was
yeah,
me and you.
I made that
It
name.
was on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, I was
it
gonna
was
say.
Thunder
and
and
Lightning.
Lightning.
Yeah, baby.
Sometimes you see him before you hear him, but usually you hear him before you see him.
Damn.
And whose Thunder and Lightning switches off sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes
They're
Charlotte
fluid.
Smoot's more.
They're
Yeah.
fluid.
Yeah, they're
Usually
storm
on
fluid.
Thunder, though.
Yeah.
Usually.
I don't know. Charlotte comes with the damn thunder sometimes. She turns into Caitlin. She
Oh
gets
my
drunk.
God.
Depending on
Yes.
who's like, I know when I hear Michaela at work, if she works more than 2 or 3 nights in a row, she's like, oh hey darling, what you want to drink? I'm like,
Gets a little more country.
she's from fucking New York.
She's
She-
actually
she is
from
actually
fucking, like,
from New
Syracuse.
York. And she'll be, yeah, exactly. She'll be like, hey, Let me get you a Budweiser there, honey.
See, that's when I go see my family in Vidalia and I have a few glasses of wine, I get a little bit more.
I never knew
I have been to the family Christmas.
Well, I never knew how country Clint was until someone pointed it out to me, and I listened back to one of the early podcasts that we were on. I was like, holy shit, Clint is country.
He just said wine.
It was the weekend. It was
wine.
Yeah. Well, I had the
And like he can smell Merlot, and he just said wine.
Merlot. I sound like Sam Merlot sometimes. But that was the one that was in question was when I had been to see my family that week. So I had it in me. It's in me. I say concrete when I get a little
concrete.
And we went to Christmas with my dad's side. Look, I got outside of Athens and in Vidalia, and then I grew up in Savannah. And it comes out when you drink.
My dad's side.
I just drank wine.
My dad's side.
Do they do that for Women's Day every year, that special brew? Yeah. And it's Reformation? That's in Canton? I've never been to Canton.
It's in Woodstock, and now they have a giant production system in Canton. But it's not just Reformation. That's all breweries.
Oh, okay.
They send this, selection of hops. It's always different. But you're allowed to do whatever you want to with
you
those
start at
hops.
that one place, and then you add whatever you want to.
Add whatever you want to add, yep.
How long did it take you to develop the recipe, though? Because, you can't just, throw some peach in there and be like, hey, we're putting this on the production line.
So it's funny because when you're developing recipes, it's not just write it down, figure it out on a piece of paper, but now you have to scale it up. That's the hardest part of it.
Sure, yeah.
It's not just this number times whatever the size of that tank is equals the right chemistry. No. And so I worked with Reformation. They helped me out, and we came up with the recipe. Probably, I took my first stab at it in a couple of days, and then I met with them, and they helped me kind of figure out what I need to do.
So you don't just make it the first time. It takes a few trial runs.
Well,
what do you do with all that trial run beer?
Well, did you make it, in the kitchen first, or?
No, I made it at Reformation.
Okay,
first.
I got you. So how many, so when the recipe did get finalized and produced, what was the volume that was produced at the brewery, do you think?
Oh, well,
barrel-wise, I guess.
Yeah, I would say we ended up sending probably 4 of the giant kegs down here to Tybee. They probably had another 3 or 4 up at Reformation. So
do they have a bar at Reformation where they pour the stuff that they brew there?
Yep, they have a tap house. They have a couple of tap houses that are awesome, and the family came out, the friends flew in. It was awesome. It felt great. To see the marketing that they came up with, which I have my awesome logo on.
Smooty Brewing Company, drink loudly.
Shout out to my
when I saw that shit, I was like, this is all really genius, actually.
Yes. My sweet girlfriend, Angela, shout out Lake Oconee. She created this for me because she just wanted to be a part of the movement. And when I was coming up with a slogan, I like for things to make sense and for there to be a story. Yeah. So drink loudly, there's nothing louder than this.
Yeah. That's genius marketing, actually.
And I wanted the hair to reflect. I want you to look at that logo and be like, that's a black woman. Because there are no black women owners of breweries in the whole state.
And the brewery scene even, it's just not something that comes to your mind. So when I saw that, I was like she's the perfect woman. I was like, she's the perfect.
So what if a black man dies in a brewery?
But I survived.
Wait, you're telling me there's a black woman brewer? Get out of here.
No, they're black brewers. Shout out to Atlantucky that just opened in Atlanta. They are Nappy Roots. Those boys just opened their own brewery. I met them. They're so awesome, and they just opened their brewery. They're having their grand opening this week. So there are black men, much more black men, but there are no black women, period. So I would be the first. So I need to get my shit moving.
They need to just use you for marketing for that shit anyways. Yeah. And you'd be like, hey, we need Smooty up here for this grand opening. So get on it, Nappy Roots.
They told me I can come anytime I want. Because when we were at a Dreamers event, and we were the only 3 black people in the room, so it's just you're immediately
on Tybee?
Yeah, what's up?
Sup. So we immediately came together, and they're so awesome in Hateville, right by the airport in Atlanta, and they told me I can come.
The home of Chick-fil-A?
Right, exactly.
Is it? Are they from Georgia or Kentucky or both?
Nappy Roots?
Yeah.
Yes, they're from, look it up, Vinny. I don't know.
Look that up.
I think because I didn't think it was Georgia.
Well, that's why they call it Atlantucky.
Atlantucky. I mean, that's what I was assuming.
So I've seen the Nappy Roots at the zoo. They came, this was in 2001, and they came in the most broke down ass freaking RV because they were, at the time, they're from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Oh, there you go.
Well, they came up with the
group consists of Milledgeville, Georgia native fish scales, Kentucky native Skinny DeVille, B. Steele,
Awesome dudes.
and Ron Clutch.
Cause it really don't matter no more. Now we got a fucking
That's
brewery.
it.
Oh no!
We're gonna have that loud piece too there.
Oh no! Hell no!
That's it. I mean, those guys are killing it.
Scott Jacobs was also in Nappy Roots. He said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was their He was their executive producer for their biggest album, probably.
I think he just wrote their songs.
Oh
They
yeah.
wrote all their songs.
He was the lyricist. That's right.
He won 74 Grammys.
He was the Hammerstein and Rogers and Hammerstein of the Kentucky Nappy Roots. I don't know if you.
freaking awesome. They just they show up to breweries and do a show. It's like the best idea ever. Everyone comes and then you also did a collaboration and they drink your beer.
See, that's dope. See, because here we have Southbound here, and I've never.
We have Southbound.
We have Southbound Service.
And there's one more, right?
Two Tides.
Two
Two Tides
Tides.
is killing
Three
it.
Taverns.
Hot
Two
Potomac
Tides is
is
crushing it.
killing it.
But I see they do shows at Southbound, but you're surrounded by barrels. And I'm no sound engineer. Yes, I am. There, you walk in.
Better be.
Really?
You walk into the door and you're like, there's no way this is gonna sound good. But it's like, it's cool that breweries can't have, like in Asheville at the Highland, or what's the Gaelic Ale? What's the Gaelic Ale? Highland.
That's
Highland.
Highland. Yeah, that's Highland
Highland
Gaelic Ale.
They have
I do a beer thing.
They
Yay!
have two music venues there. One outside for like festivals, and one inside which is completely walled off, and it
It's
is a
awesome.
venue.
Is that the one by the railroad tracks?
It's legit.
I think it is by the railroad.
We went to saw Big Boy and the Purple Root All Stars there, right?
What's the
That was at a bar that had like
That was a scrapyard.
10-acre field behind it.
Okay.
And we saw Big Boy there.
That was a scrapyard.
some
That
meth
was like a
addicts.
big
It
music
was an
venue.
interesting
Yeah.
event.
Well, see, I didn't know. The reason they called it Highland is because a bunch of Scottish people settled somewhere in Asheville. And the guy who
that makes
owns
sense.
Highland is Chinese-born. I'm sorry, Chinese descent, Jamaican-born.
Damn.
Chinese descent, Jamaican-born.
I want to see his hair.
He was
Minorities.
an engineer until he was 45. Quit doing that and started Highland, and then that was right at the peak of the boom. So he got in before, Now there's a brewery every 10 minutes
For
almost.
everyone.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
So
That's why there's not a brewery in Tybee.
And their music venue is
Sierra
dope.
Nevada's in
People
It's so
Asheville,
dope,
go
yeah.
there for that.
there's Ondar Green in Charleston, Pisgah. There's a lot of breweries that end up being like, hey, we're gonna pull food trucks up. We're gonna have a venue outside.
Do you mean beer and food go together?
That's crazy,
This is
right?
wild.
It's like aioli fries and tartare
I think
together.
Scott
I don't
Jacobs
eat when I
invented
drink.
that concept.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, you pour the beer on the fries. It's great, fry-soaked beer. You douchebag, Scott Jacobs.
Well, visit us on Patreon. I guess you don't really have to anymore. We already told all the tea here.
Well, you find them there.
You can follow Smoot
Because
on
last
her
Friday's Patreon
socials.
was spicy.
It was spicy.
It was spicy.
We had a real spicy Patreon.
Ooh, I like
we got
that.
real.
It could not have been literally on the actual air.
No,
it
no,
was
no.
too much.
It was super.
It was
dark.
there were some taxi cab confessions, a little bit of
Yeah, but not ours. The
Speaking
old
of Lake
taxi
Oconee,
cab.
a little bit of Ben Roethlisberger in there.
Oh yeah, a little.
Taking
Yeah.
it back to Milton.
All right, let's go to the F count, please.
All right, let's
Where are we at?
fuck
Ben?
We do have an F count. I think I kept pretty good track, but Paxton's got 3. Clint with fucking 12. That's going to make 5 for me. I can't mark it. And Smoot had 6. So congratulations, Clint.
Doubled up the next closest.
Cheers, Queers.
Cheers, Vinny.
Cheers, y'all.
Thank
I
you
love y'all
guys.
drinking your wine,
You
even
guys.
though I only drink Budweiser.
Thank you guys for
And-
listening and patronizing our Patreons.
Smoot, we love you. You're
Love you
amazing.
guys.
We
Like,
love you,
thank you so
Smoot.
much.
We'll do,
Like,
we'll do this.
Zero.
We'll do this again.
We'll do this
we-
again.
Yeah, we
Actually,
we'll
we're
have
gonna
you
invite
back.
Eric on, and then right before we start, be like, "Actually, you're done. Smooth back in."
So I turned him around at the door.
Right around and took a
Scott
crap.
Jacobs ain't having that shit.
You about to die in an avalanche, motherfucker.
We love you guys. Thanks.
This show's awesome.
Do we do the post show thing where we do like this?